Thank you all for keeping an eye on your budget and making sure that we have a zero budget at the end of the month. Thank you. With that, we have call to the public. We have 4 cards, and 3 of the cards are giving the time over to the president of PLEA, Ken. Come on up. You have about 8 minutes.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is.
I do a lot of damage with 8 minutes. Okay, well, thank you. Good morning. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, obviously just for purpose of the record, since we're being recorded, I know you guys know me, but my name's Ken Crane, President of the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association, representing rank and file police officers and detectives. I want to take a few minutes this morning to talk to you about the staffing crisis currently facing the PD. As you know, on December 5th, we held a press conference. We've published some things on our web, done some editorial pieces in the paper to address these issues. Since then, I have met with the city manager, I've met with the mayor, I've met with Councilwoman Pastor. I'm reaching out to others on the council, so I am going to reach out to others to sit down and talk more in depth privately about what we see as serious concerns. But the information I want to get out right now, and these numbers kind of float a little bit, so they may not be super exact, but I just want to say, number one, we are an organization in crisis. Our current approximate levels are 2,722 officers. It's a ratio of about 1.8 officer per 1,000 citizens. Our high in 08 was 3,388. That's a ratio of about 2.0 per 1,000. And our stated goal is to get back to 3125. Key point, that's 263 fewer that we had in 08. But what's happened to the city since 08? I think we've grown a little bit. That's about 1.9 per 1,000 on our ratio if we get to that number. I talked to the city manager. I asked him how they came up with this magic number. What I was told is, well, that's what we can afford. That's concerning to me because it's not what we need. We're going off of what we can afford, and that's the wrong way to do business. So we need to figure out what we need to achieve good, solid public safety and security in the city of Phoenix. Number one, to keep our cops safe, and number two, to keep our citizens safe. The IACP has a report published. It's dated. It goes back to 03, but I couldn't find anything more recent. Average staffing for populations of cities with 250,000 or more, 250,000 or more, the average staffing was 2.5 per 1,000 citizens. With Phoenix's population, that equates to 4,250 cops. Okay, now that's an average. That's an average. That means some cities are staffing higher than this, 3 and 4 per 1,000. So 2.5 is a reasonable number. So in reality, based on our target staffing of 3,125, we would need to hire an additional 1,125 over that to just get to 2.5, or the national average. So what that's left us with right now in the PD is what I like to use the term, we're going through organizational triage, all right? It's like a MASH unit. So we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We've had to strip 153 detectives out of very needed details and 13 sergeants. It was supposed to be more than that, but that's what we got. They're going back to patrol. Now we're leaving our detective detail shorthanded and understaffed. A couple of points, I think, drive the point home. At our high on our personnel, we had about 140 traffic motorcycle cops out on the street. Right now, I'm going to be generous with you. We got 40. And the city can't figure out why ticket revenues are down. Okay? At our high, we had almost 60 property crimes detectives spread between North and South Zone. We got about 30 right now. Okay, what does that do to your case management and caseload and service to the citizens and victims that need case follow-up? You can't keep all the balls in the air. Our detectives have called me with concerns from a variety of details. There will be major case management issues in our detective details. It could result in major backlogs, citizens not getting served properly. We had the elimination of the FADE detail, Fugitive Apprehension Detail, 20 detectives. And I saw we had on the agenda here talking about a contract with the U.S. Marshals to contract with them to go out and pick up our fugitives. So we eliminated a 20-man detail. We're not saving money. We're still paying those cops. We didn't fire them. We just got rid of the detail, but now we're going to contract outside or talk about contracting outside to pay some other outside entity money to go do that job. And they're not going to do it as good as our guys do, not because they're inept or incompetent, but because they have their own work to do. Our guys could do that full time. So these are some of the problems and issues. So what are the solutions? Okay, because I get it. I know it's easy to sit up here and throw stones. That's the easy part. But coming up with realistic, viable solutions is the challenge. And we're always willing to come to the table, sit down and partner to help come up with solutions. So the first thing we need to do is we need to double down on our recruiting and hiring efforts. That's not going on, and it's not going on because the city's not letting it happen, okay? Any problem can be solved with the application of enough money. We all know that, okay? So the city is throttling hiring. They're the ones that control that. They control the budget and the purse strings. So we need to really start aggressively recruiting out of state. The problem, from what I've been told from our folks that work employment services, is us and 20 other agencies are fishing out of the same lake here. Okay, you show up at a fair and you're competing with DPS, MCSO, Scottsdale, Tempe, Mesa, Avondale, Goodyear, you name it, they're all there. And a lot of these are given like $5,000 signing bonuses. I haven't confirmed. I heard one city in the West Valley is if you go hire for them, they'll give you $20,000 credit toward buying a home over there. That's smart money because if they buy, you're going to increase your tax base. You're going to have that guy for 20, 30 years over there. We may not be able to afford to do that, but the fix is we got to unleash the hounds and turn these guys loose to go out of state to go recruit. We got Fort Hood, Texas, one of the largest military installations in Texas, 2 divisions there. There's a steady stream of people leaving. You're worried about racial demographics on your PD? The military is a virtual melting pot. You get it all when you go recruit from the military. These guys are almost turnkey ready. We celebrated this class of 50 that we had recently. All the hoopla on media, oh, 50. We need to be trying to get a class of 50 through 10 months out of the year, okay? And we can do it. We could do it. So the council needs, the bottom line is the council, and I'm coming to you guys because you're the Public Safety Subcommittee, the council needs to find the needed funds to make all this happen, okay? The status quo is unacceptable. If we hired 500 a year, 10 classes of 50, figure 150 for attrition, that leaves us 350, okay? And we're trying to get to 4,250. Based on my calculations, that's a very optimistic approach. That would take us 4.2 years to dig out of the hole and get to where we need. Let's lower it. 250 a year. Let's just get 250 a year through the pipeline. Well, you just push that number to 6 years to get to 2.5 per 1,000. And at 200 a year, we're now up to 7.5 years. Okay? That's just simple math. If I can figure it out, I know you guys can. You got a lot of resources. I want to get this on the record. We owe this to our citizens. I want my guys, my men and women to be safe out there. And I said it once and I'll say it again. This isn't a PD management problem. They've been on the bandwagon just as much as we have, crying for help and resources. Thank you.
Because this is public